Good afternoon, everybody. Luckily, we have folks in the audience who realize that I'm short. As always, we have a long agenda, but I think it's going to be an especially interesting one. A lot of people have announcements to make and other things to say. How many of you remember how we left off our last meeting a month ago? A joke, yeah. What was the joke about? Elevators? Okay. This is something that Andy Gordon sent to me. It says, elevator support company, we actually call you back. I think this is a real ad. He said he got it off of Jeopardy. From a Jeopardy program, a commercial. So I guess there are lots of people who have problems with their elevators. Anyway, there it is. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the West Tower transition and the committee work that's been going on. We have been meeting every Monday in October. Lots to figure out and try and get a handle on how we're going to handle things and keep us all entertained and away from the noise and dust and other problems that we may have during the transition, although we may not all feel that way, depending on where your apartment is and, lots of things. So, the move of the West Wing storage unit to the Presbyterian Church are going very well. Wanted to let you know that security staff will include those buildings in their rounds, but they're not going to be there all the time, of course. So if you have any valuables in your storage areas, even here, you may want to remove them and put them in your apartment or some other place you think is safer. The B1 TV room, you may have noticed that it's going to be closed for a while. The CDs have been removed, and there's new flooring being installed and the walls painted to make that room a much nicer place for us to convene. And the knitting supplies have been put into a cupboard directly opposite the Myrtle Edwards room. I think there's still a little bit more work to do on that, getting some containers to hold the knitting supplies, but anyone's welcome to. As I understand, the knitting committee can speak up if I'm wrong, but that's right. Anybody can open it up and take some supplies if you've got your own project to work on. Do that. The new Terry Street patio. I think this is coming along beautifully. Now, you know that the patios where the gardeners have been working up until this point are going to be destroyed as the construction goes ahead. So we've all been advised to remove any plants we want to keep or transfer somewhere. But if you look outside the doors here, you'll see that pavers had been installed in place of the gravel that was there, and there are beautiful metal planters. And the garden committee has decided, because there aren't enough to go around, that there's going to be a lottery. And garden committee members who want one of those planters to continue their gardening can put their names in, and there'll be a drawing. I think Anne-Marie, tomorrow, Anne-Marie is going to be doing the drawing as an impartial person. And I think it's going to be just a lovely area to sit in when we want to be outdoors and we want kind of a private space, because you'll be surprised if you go out there that there's really quite a barrier between people sitting on the patio and people passing by on the sidewalk. So I think it's going to be a lovely area. It'll be shady, nice and cool in the summertime. I hope you all know that there is an easier way now if we use Uber or Lyft to get reimbursed, the up to $15. If you sign up with Jess, then the $15 will be taken automatically off of the bill that Uber would ordinarily send us. So you don't need to send her a memo or send her a piece of paperwork or anything like that. The only thing we personally need to pick up is if we have an expense of more than $15 and if we care to tip. And the car share program is going to be explained to us on October 24th at 10 a.m. I expect this room to be filled, whether we're going to take advantage of it or not. I think we're all curious about how that's going to work. So, excuse me just a sec. As long as we're talking about transportation, I almost forgot to mention this. How many of you have heard a rumor that we're going to be asked to take Uber when we go do our grocery shopping instead of the vans? Has anybody heard that rumor? One person has. Somebody else? Okay, I want to assure you that is not true. I checked with Brian Byers. No, we are going to continue to have the grocery vans on more or less the schedule that we have now, although I think some days of the week may be switched a little bit. Okay, then the transition committee has been talking a lot about how to get away from the noise and the disruption during the construction. And of course, we don't know exactly how it's going to affect us. And I think it is going to affect, as I said, different people differently. So what we think we want to do as the first step is to help empower residents to go to local places of their own interest according to their own schedules and mobility. So we're not going to say, you know, if you want to go to such and such a place down, you know, just a few blocks away, you don't have to wait for a van to take you there according to the van schedule. You can just go. So we think that there are a lot of different ways of doing that. Do you know what POPs are? I hear a lot of yes and a lot of privately owned public spaces. Those are things like the Convention Center or Union Square 1 and 2. They're privately owned, but they're open to the public, and we're free to sit there as long as we want to. Many of them have little shops or coffee places where you can get a cup of coffee and then sit and read a book all day if you want. So Barbara McCarg knows quite a lot about those, and she will be leading tours the first week in December. She'll get out a schedule. She'll take anybody who wants to see what those are like. For the most part, they are accessible, I believe, for walkers. And she's going to do it that first week in December because the rest of December she's going away. But if you can't do it in December, she will be more than glad to do a few tours in January and February. And she'll provide maps and illustrations and everything that she can to help with that. Excuse me.
Interrupt for just one moment. For people that are standing, you can please move to the fireside lounge. I did turn on the overflow, so you can sit.
We also know that some of you have never had occasion to use public transportation. whether buses or Uber or Lyft or taxis. You've driven your own car all this while. But many of us are reaching a point where we want to give up our cars, or we might want to use the car share program. So we'd like to get help in how to use public transportation. We think that Metro can help do that, or those of us who have used public transportation quite a bit can help you with it. We think that some of you would like to walk or ride, take a bus together or whatever. But, you know, you're a little nervous about doing it the first time, or you want company. You really like to chat with someone else when you walk. So we'll try and find a way of connecting those who want to do this with other people, so you don't have to do it on your own. And we are exploring the use of a Horizon House van for some kind of loops that would go, for example, from one park to another park to another park. You get off at the one that you're interested in staying in for a while, and then the van comes and picks you up later. Or similarly, to get downtown to the waterfront or shopping or whatever. And I think I pressed the wrong button. Yep. So these are some of the ideas we're exploring. We would welcome your feedback. If anyone wants to join the transition committee and help us figure out all of these things, we'd be glad to have you. And we'll work next on some longer trips, depending on the interest, depending on how things are going. And now, the big event for this meeting is the election of the new council, new residence council members. As you know, we have a 15-person council, and every year 5 members go off of the council and 5 new members come on, and they all serve a 3-year term. The way that we do this is by inviting every resident to submit their own name or to submit a friend's name or whomever they think would be a really good choice to be on the resident council. The only restriction is that once you serve a 3-year term, that's it. You can't ever do it again. The nominating committee this year consisted of Les Cox, John Gienap, Madge Hislop, Doris Ray, and Bill Jones, who chaired the committee. And notice that, except for Bill, these are not members of the Residence Council. This really is your council to elect, to nominate, and so forth. They represent you. I'm sorry, I heard a remark. Anything we all should know? Okay. Oh, yes. Some residents who used to be members of the council are now serving on the nominating committee. I want to thank everyone who is willing to serve. Sometimes it's really hard to get people who say, oh, yes, I'm willing to be nominated. I'm willing to spend 3 years of my life helping to run all of the activities that we have at Horizon House. It's a big job, and I thank you if you were willing to run at all. And these are the individuals who have been nominated to serve a 3-year term beginning in January 2026. They are Bill Augusta, Marianne Counts, Shan Cretin, Kate Oliver, and Pat Waite. And I've asked them each to make a brief presentation so you'll get to know them before you vote. First up is Bill Augusta.
Thanks. Hi. My name is Bill Augusta, and I go by both Bill and William. I've been here at Horizon House since September of 2023, so just over 2 years. My wife and I came here after 25 years of retirement on San Juan Island, where we lived out in the countryside and had a lovely, quiet time, completely missing the COVID pandemic, but actively volunteering in county and state government. We came to the Pacific Northwest from New York City, where we had lived in Greenwich Village and raised 2 children. I was a research professor at the Rockefeller University, an institution with graduate students but no undergraduates. I headed a small laboratory group that did basic research, largely in physical organic chemistry. Here at Horizon House, I'm involved in a number of activities. I'm on 3 committees: Let's Talk Science, Election Forums, and Dining Services, which I guess represents an abiding interest in science, government, and food. I'm also nominal head of the pool committee, but this committee only meets around the pool table and really has no other function. Incidentally, we would very much welcome new players, both resident and staff. I work 2 Mondays a month in the Monday market, and events I regularly attend include the Sunday Secular Humanist meetings, the monthly Writers Read events, where I read from one of my books a few months ago, most music events, especially including the Wednesday night music presentations, and many of the Friday evening films and Saturday night movies. I was asked if I'd like to run for a position on the Residents' Council. I thought it would be a worthwhile activity, so here I am before you today. Thank you.
Mary Ann Counts is our next nominee, but she was unable to be here today. I'll read from her message, which will explain why she's not here, and other remarks that she made. My apologies for not being here in person. My absence is due to a 2-week vacation in Turkey and Greece that just concluded. Hopefully, many of you know me or have worked with me during my 9.5 years residence in the Central Tower. My current activities include art studio leadership and class scheduling for the past 9 years. I am also an active member of these committees: the Art Committee, where I head up the annual art show, Flower Committee, Monday Market, Enrichment Grant Committee, Garden Committee, and Safety Committee. My 35-year career was in clinical laboratory management for various independent and national labs. In addition to personnel and equipment management, which developed my organizational skills, I also covered the fields of government regulations and compliance. I decided to run for Residents' Council because I believe my experience on various committees and my organizational skills would be beneficial in this time of transition at Horizon House. Thanks for giving me this opportunity, Mary Ann Counts. Our next nominee is Shan Cretin, and I need to explain because, come on up, Shan, because Shan is already on the Residents' Council, but she is filling out the unexpired term of someone who was on previously. And if you have not served for 3 full years, if you're taking someone else's term, then you get another chance to serve.
I'm Shan Cretin, and my husband Emmett Keeler and I moved to Horizon House about 16 months ago to be closer to our 3 daughters and our 5 grandchildren, all of whom have lived in Seattle for a long time. So we were familiar with the place and knew that this was where we would retire when we finally made the move from Santa Monica, California. We immediately got engaged with the string-alongs, ukulele band, even before we moved in. We've both been part of the Horizon House Singers, where I'm currently the chair of the Horizon House Singers Advisory Committee. And most everybody knows Emmett, although they do confuse him with his brother George Keeler, who is equally tall and white-haired and bearded. So my background was had three parts. I was first a professor of public health at UCLA for about 15 years, and I worked in health services research, working on improving quality of care, did some work in the People's Republic of China on financing rural health care. And then I became a consultant. I developed my own consulting business, and I worked internationally. I had clients here in the U.S., including Kaiser Permanente Group Health, the Alaska Native Health Services, the VA, worked with the NIH in the UK, and worked on helping organizations that wanted to reduce errors in medicine and apply evidence-based medicine to improving quality of care. And after 9/11, I decided peace was more broken than healthcare, and I became a regional director in the American Friends Service Committee, which is a Quaker peace and social justice organization. After 7 years as a regional director in the Los Angeles area, I was chosen to be the general secretary, and Emmett and I spent 7 years as a bi-coastal couple while I worked from Philadelphia on international programs for AFSC. I've had a lot of experience with nonprofit organizations, and I've been on boards. I was on the board of the California Endowment for 9 years, which is a $4 billion healthcare endowment in California that was funded when group health, when Blue Cross decided they wanted to go for profit and had to put their assets into a separate nonprofit. So I've had a lot of experience, and when I was asked to serve, I thought that some of that might be helpful in working with the Residents Council, which is also a 501c3 nonprofit, during what I think will be a challenging time in the coming years. I have enjoyed the last 8 months. I would say being on the council is a way to get to know things that seemed quite mysterious before and are now gradually clearing up. So I think I would enjoy the opportunity to spend another 3 years and really get to know the place.
Thank you, Shan. I don't know if you feel the way I do, but whenever I hear the backgrounds of some of our council members, I think, what did I do with my life? Nothing. And Kate Oliver is our next nominee.
Don't worry, I have 2 pages, but the font is really big. Good afternoon. My name is Kate Oliver, and I'm honored to be nominated for the Residents Council. I moved to the North Tower 2 years ago after living in Edmonds for 42 years. I'm wondering now if it's time for me to say that I'm no longer new here. My background is as a clinical psychologist, and I spent much of my career working in a variety of settings before ultimately running my own mediation and conflict management business, where there was never a shortage of work or opinions. After retiring, I embraced a new passion, pottery. So you can imagine my delight when I learned that the West Tower was going to have a pottery studio. And then I realized that I would be almost well, I'm my late 80s, I'll say, before the studio opened. And so who knows by then whether my fingers will still work or maybe even my brain. So we'll see about that. Here at Horizon House, I'm co-chair with Suzanne Matson of the Bridge Committee, and I play enthusiastically and not as well as Shan, hesitantly with the string-alongs. I serve on the Mental Health Advisory Group as well as the Art and Garden Committees. I chose to run because I want to be part of that secret sauce that makes Horizon House such a vibrant and supportive community. I bring a positive attitude, a good sense of humor, most days, and a strong belief in showing up and following through. And in the words of, Diane Keaton, who recently passed, la-dee-da, la-dee-da.
I've heard that there's nothing that will keep your brain any sharper than playing bridge. So I don't think you have to worry about your brain when you are ready for the ceramic studio and it's ready for you. And our fifth nominee is Pat Waite.
Thanks, Ronnie. I'm Pat Waite, and I'm a lifelong Seattleite, and I've been here at Horizon House for 6 years. I have 3 children, 3 adult children, and I have 3 grandsons, and they're very young still. Well, one's a high school graduate, the other 2 are young, and they're the love of my life, and I can't think of anything I'd rather do than spend time with them. So I'm really a lucky granny, and they all live in the Seattle area. I also enjoy reading and travel, and I have a place on Guaymas Island, and Bill and I were just talking about the San Juans, and I know at least 4 other people who are here at Horizon House that also have places on tiny Guaymas Island. If you haven't visited, it's just a short ferry ride across from Anacortes, and it's a fun little day trip. Before I retired, I was the director of the early childhood department at University Presbyterian Church here in Seattle. And so I spent my days working with and helping and loving preschoolers and their family. And preschoolers are still my favorite group of people to be with. So what am I doing in a retirement community? Maybe there are some similarities. I serve on several different committees here at Horizon House, and I've loved it all, but just 2 of my favorites are the Welcoming Committee. I'm one of the co-chairs of the Mixer Party group of the Welcoming Committees. And I also love being on the Birthday Party Committee with Zoa and the rest of the committee. And I think the reason those 2 are maybe my favorite committees here is it's all about people having fun together. And I love that, building relationships and building community that groups like that bring to us. So as a member of Residents Council, I would love to continue this opportunity to help people have fun together and build community and grow together here at Horizon House. Thank you.
Our bylaws say that in addition to the 5 nominees who are recommended by the Residents' Council, you all have an opportunity to nominate anyone else whom you wish. If there is a nominee from the floor, then we will have a vote by paper ballot. If you want to nominate anyone, you must have asked them first if they're willing to accept. Are there any nominees from the floor? If not, may I have a show of hands, all in favor of the 5 nominees who've been presented to you? Looks like it's unanimous. I think we're going to have a great Residents' Council this coming year. before I turn the mic over to Erica, our CEO, I want to show you something that many of you know about, but Erica just found out this morning. This is an insert that was in the Seattle Times. It's called Best Years, Advice and Adventures for Aging Well. And I was just turning the pages, just curious about what was in it. And I just happened to recognize the people in these photographs. They are Ted Borker, Dick Cole, and Jim Spraker, who are in the woodworking room. And at the bottom, Mimi Richards and looks like, thank you, Margie Cates. And I don't know what they're doing. I can't even recognize where they are, but they're clearly enjoying themselves with a glass of wine and some hors d'oeuvres. If either of you was here, you can tell me where you are. Anyway, this is probably part of the photo shoot that was done. Anyway, it's a very good article, I think. I mean, it just reads like an article that someone not associated with Horizon House would have written after visiting here. So I hope you'll try and find a copy of this. And it was, I'm sorry? Oh, the woodworking shop. Okay, it's outside the woodworking shop if you care to venture down there. Otherwise, we should get a copy of it up in the mailroom where more of us tend to hang out. I'm sorry? I was trying to find out, but I don't see a date. October 19th. Okay. Erica, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ronnie, and congratulations to our new members of Residence Council leadership. All right, so we've got some good news today. I'm really excited to share with you that the Horizon House Board of Trustees has approved us to go forward with financing. You know, we met the criteria that the board had set forth over time in terms of making sure that we had, really some acceleration with our sales and marketing, making sure that we were able to get the permits we were supposed to get, and, that we were still going to be able to maintain the financial health that we wanted to achieve when we embarked upon the West Tower in the first place. So we did get our 90% construction documents back that let us know that the project costs are still in line with what we are planning for. And one of the things I'm so grateful to be able to stand up and share with you is just how conservative we have been in this planning. And so there are lots of rooms, if things go, wild in the country or different things happen, we've already planned for them. So, just so it can put everybody a bit at ease, this is just a well-planned project. We still have a major hurdle ahead of us, and that is getting the bondholders, the investors, to actually invest. On Thursday, the 23rd, that's Thursday. So on Thursday, the Washington State Housing Commission, they're going to, vote, and I presume they'll vote to allow us to be able to pursue the tax-exempt bond financing. And then on Friday, we start getting the investors involved. We have a webinar scheduled. And then on the 29th, we will have 8 to 10 of our largest potential investors here at Horizon House. And so I have an ask of all of you. I don't know what your plans are for next week, but I'm asking you to be here, be everywhere, attend whatever events, whatever that calendar says we've got going on. Let the rooms be full. Let them feel the vibrancy. We know, we don't have to fake it. We know that it's here. But I know people are busy, people travel, things happen. But if ever there was a day you were going to have a cup of coffee with a friend in the Fireside Lounge, the 29th is that day. If you want to swim, one of the things that the Fitch representative said to us that I thought was interesting, they said, we've been in a lot of communities we've never seen anybody in the pool. And, you know, they just talked about how they tour these beautiful communities and nobody's enjoying the space. We want it to feel to them like, oh my gosh, let's get these people this tower, because they don't have any space for all these folks who are out and about here. So that is my ask of you all. The 29th, which is, let me give you the date of the week. I believe it's a Wednesday, but I could be wrong. It's a Wednesday, so next Wednesday. Wish we could have them stay later for our Wednesday night live, but, you know, if they'll just please be out and about. That's all I can say. You know, we're going to put forth our best effort. I mean, it's a lot of money to raise. We have about 8 to 10 investors coming. It is highly unusual for investors to come. It is also a very busy season. There are lots of people who are financing this quarter. So we are in the midst of, you know, lots of other competition. However, we know our project is the best. But we need about 20 investors. Realistically, we need about 20 for a project of this size. And so this is where the rubber meets the road. You know, we've put forth our best effort. We've planned so well, but now we've got to get people interested in saying, you know, we want to be a part of this. We think that this is a great investment. And I can't think of a better way to show them that than to introduce them to all of you, because we are unique. We are very unique. And we want them to feel that when they walk through the door. All right. So I want to just let everybody give a couple of bright spots. We were able to attend the Ziegler CEO conference in September. Christy and I attended, and Mike Meekum also, who's a board of trustee, attended this conference. It was pretty powerful. We had our opportunity, I think we shared with all of you, to start to talk, you know, to investors at that point in time and get them excited and interested. We had an investor breakfast. We had, you know, some investors kind of try to, you know, hunt us down that night and sit with us to learn more. It's an exciting project, but it was good for us to show up and be able to share. We also went to the Leading Age Washington Fall Conference, where we had Marcia was able to attend. We had several other board members who were able to attend, as well as Lori, who's on the board of Leading Age Washington. And again, learning, being with our peers, making sure that we show up and stand out is important. It is my intention and goal to get our team members presenting at more conferences in the next, you know, couple of years. We are doing what we said we were going to do. Last year, we set out we said we wanted to increase people's positive perception of Horizon House. We know that people have a positive perception, but we wanted to increase that. And so we've been doing a lot of outreach, you know, going to conferences, you know, some of it, but also showing up locally for the community. As many of you have shared with me, diversity and equity and inclusion is important, and you want us to be a more diverse organization. So we have been getting out there, showing up at community organizations events. And so we've had several in the past couple of months, really September, October. We went to Casa Latina. We had 6 residents represent Horizon House there. I was able to go to the Northwest African American Museum event. And then we had a whole table with 10 residents and staff members at the Atlantic Street event this past Saturday. So these are ways that we are showing up in community, talking to people. We're keeping Horizon House top of mind. We love the articles, but we have got to put a little something with it. We've got to be able to show up, talk to people, and engage with people. Want to share with you, we are at 123 today in terms of reservation deposits for the West Tower. So we are moving forward, and that's not it. I mean, we believe that October will be our best month yet. We have at least 2 more coming through for this month. There may be even more. Wanted to let you know, we'll find out what our Fitch rating is this week, but the visit was so positive. They just could not say enough. You know, we left them with a good feeling, really because of all of you and what they experienced. What they said, unprompted, was, this feels like a college campus. Where have we heard that before? All right. So tomorrow we're going to have an event. Many of you, thank you to all of you who participated in the photo shoot. You're starting to see the fruits of your labor already, but we want to show you the full shoot. So we're just going to have a fun event tomorrow. You know, no real agenda. We're going to have some good fall treats to eat, and then we're going to just do a slideshow. So you can see what those photos look like, and you will start to see them show up in our different marketing materials. So come on out for that and just, enjoy the day. It'll be at 2 p.m. right here in Anderson Hall. We are still recruiting new members for the Community Relations and Diversity Committee starting in 2026. We've got some exciting things planned. We're going to kick off the year in February, on February 4th, with an equity luncheon. We were going to do it. We've been asking you, please send us your people, share with us who you know. But then we started to really think, why are we lessening our marketing efforts to diverse communities? We send mailings out to everybody else. We really try to reach out to everybody else. So we needed to have some real intentional marketing to a wider network of people. And we are really fortunate because we don't have to target it to one income bracket because we have the economic diversity of all of Horizon House. And so we are going to be doing a huge mailing that is really segmented to help us target people or reach people who are from racial and ethnic diverse backgrounds, but are also within the age group that they could potentially move into Horizon House. And so stay tuned, you'll hear more. We're going to really want to engage with residents and help make that event a powerful event. But that is going to be something that the Community Relations and Diversity Committee is working towards. That particular committee is a 3-year term. We meet quarterly. There's more information on the admin board in the mailroom. If you want more details, you can contact Beth, but we would like to know and have those applications in by Halloween. Want to tell you, per Sean today, all of our elevators are currently in service. We did, we've had, we did have one out of service on the 15th. Service was restored within 4 hours. Elevator aid experience and entrapment involving one of our construction workers. I was actually here for that. But the Seattle Fire Department extracted them within the hour. And then Otis restored elevator service that evening. And then earlier in the month, elevator 4 was out. This problem ended up needed to be escalated to a more specialized technician at Otis. So we wanted to give you an update. Elevators are always interesting, but as Ronnie shared, we're not alone. Part of tower living, but just know that when elevator problems happen, we are all hands on deck to try to get it resolved. Looking for everybody, I hope everybody's looking forward to Halloween. We have such a wonderful time. Unfortunately, I will not be here with you that day, and so I won't be here at the fireside chat, but Lori will be presenting. I am going to be out of town on my way to the Leading Age National Conference, where you all know I'm on the board, and the conference is next week. I am presenting at one session, and I do have to do remarks at 2 other sessions, so it'll be a pretty busy and robust conference. And then after the conference, since I'm going to be in Boston, it'll be in Boston, I am going to take off that Thursday and go visit my son at school. All right. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I'm turning it over to Ildiko. Okay. All right. Turning it over to Ildiko.
Good afternoon, everybody. So Erica was talking about so many conferences. Actually, I just got back from the International Council of Active Aging's conference. And if you would like to know, the hotspot for wellness is nutrition and dual tasking. Dual tasking means you are doing exercise and cognitive exercise in the same time. So, and watch out for Andrew. He's gonna pull it out from his magic hat. And we have, I was very, very pleased to hear that what I heard, what is recommended, and this is an international organization, we have all of it here. You've been able to use all of the services and what is in the trend. It's available at Horizon House. So great. That's my conference experience. Okay, so today I'm here to talk about the department and to provide explanation on how we share information about our programs. And thank you so much for this opportunity that I can provide some clarification. So the Life Enrichment Team's vision is to provide personalized lifestyle opportunities by empowering residents to make their own choices. 3 years ago, as we emerged from the pandemic, the Life Enrichment Team focused heavily on one-on-one visits and activities with assisted living residents. Well, it wasn't difficult, right? We couldn't really do too much or anything else. But we listened closely to the residents' conversations and what they wish for, what lifestyle they desire, and it quickly became clear that many residents share the same concern. They are feared moving into assisted living because it would mean to them they will be told what to do. They would lose their autonomy, as well as losing opportunities to connect with friends and continue their existing routines and lifestyle. Over the past several years, both cultural and regulatory changes in long-term care have guided us away from the institutional models and toward more personalized approaches. In the last 6-8 years, we have deepened our understanding of therapeutic strategies, non-pharmacological interventions, and individualized care. Our team has placed greater emphasis on small group activities to foster independence, honor personal choices, enhance dignity, and promote overall well-being. Through our experience with independent living volunteers and other visitors, we have observed that friendships are more easily maintained when residents participate in activities together. Shared experiences give friends something to talk about and create opportunities to look forward to spending time together. To ensure transparency, we carefully select and share weekly programs in the alert. These activities demonstrate the residents on the second and third floor are still part of the wider Horizon House community. The Life Enrichment Team also encourages assisted living residents to participate in any Horizon House programming, providing reminders when needed escort services. When you see elevator signs promoting programs such as drumming or French club, please consider them as open invitations. The contact information provided is the Life Enrichment Department's extension number. As team members are often busy on the floor, conducting programs, or may have varying schedules. For instance, if you want to speak with Megan about the French Club, and you call her and she's not responding, maybe she's on vacation. But it means the rest of the team won't receive the message. So we won't be able to help you, answer you, or solve any problem. Therefore, the best way to contact with us is to call the department's extension number. So we would like you to know how to reach us. We have an email address, which is lifeenrichment@horizonhouse.org, and the phone extension number is 3170, what you can find in the telephone directory as well. Our office is on the 3rd floor, East Tower. It's a bit tricky to find it, but I would say you can ask the residents or the nursing team, and they are happy to guide you. The residents know where the office is because the scale is next to our office. So you can even ask for the scale. If you would like to know how is leading a particular program, we are happy to provide that information as well. Our goal is not to draw a large crowd, but rather to offer a program to those who are genuinely interested in each topics. Our versatile programming covers a wide range of interests at various times. Thank you so much for the support and the participation. Do you have any question?
Thank you, Ildiko. Do you have any questions? And I apologize that I did not forward the slides, but Ildiko would be glad to answer questions if you have any. Nothing? Okay. Next, we have the spotlight on the Safety Committee with Bill Corriston and Mike Gould.
Okay, thank you, Ronnie. When I asked Ronnie a few months ago I told her that the Safety Committee wanted to have a spotlight. I asked her how much time we had. And after she told me, it reminded me of sometimes on the evening news, the anchor will be interviewing someone and say, in the 30 seconds we have left. So I'll try to move right along, okay? First of all, I just want to post up here the members of the Safety Committee. Mike, my colleague here on my right, and I are co-chairs. Jack Carr is our emeritus member and has a tremendous amount of institutional knowledge, and we used him a lot. And then we have Les, Lynn, Steve, Ginny, and Roger, who are also part of the committee. And the main thing I want to get across here is that consider us a source for safety information. And if you have a safety question and we can't answer it, we'll get an answer for you. Okay, the Safety Committee really has two major programs, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with these. The Emergency Volunteer Program, we have one or two volunteers on every floor in the two towers, and their responsibilities include being a safety information resource for their neighbors, and also during an emergency, such as an earthquake, to support staff and first responders. What they do is if they're able, they would go from room to room, knocking on the door, try to determine the status of their neighbor, and then write that down and have that available for those first responders or staff. If we have something like an earthquake, first responders outside of Horizon House are days away, probably. The first responders and our staff will be there much quicker, and so this is we intend to be a service to them and help them basically triage what's going on. The new resident safety briefing, Mike heads that up, and we meet with all new residents, and a month or so after they're here, and just give them a safety briefing. We go over the information, excuse me, in the directory, and we give them some other written information, and we give them a checklist, emergency checklist, so once they get back to their apartment, and over time, they can look at that checklist and see if they're really ready for an emergency. Okay, I want to spend just a couple minutes on the Horizon House directory. It's a little different this year. We have, the Safety Committee has one page in the back of the directory. It's the very last page. It happens to be page 41, but it's easier, I think, to remember that it's the very last page. And what we've put there is we identified what we thought were the most important emergencies, and in a very succinct, to the point way, we put down how you should respond. So there's not a lot of verbiage here. It just tells you exactly and precisely what to do. For instance, this is one of them, dealing with a fire alarm. And if you don't know what to do when a fire alarm goes off, and this is not for a what do I say, trial? What is it? I'm sorry? Sure, okay. So this is if you hear a fire alarm go off and you haven't heard an announcement, that's a drill, then these are the things you do. I mean, if you're in a tower or in your apartment, the first option you have is going to the nearest stairwell. Go down 4 flights and go back into the hallway if it's safe to do so, okay? The second option is to go to the nearest stairwell and just stay there until your the PA announcement comes in or the first responders come and tell you what to do. And the third option is just stay in your apartment. And the reason that we say that, stay in your apartment or go to the stairwell and wait, is that both of those areas are fire rated for about 1.5 hours. So that should be ample time for you to, for first responders, to get to you. So you have those 3 options. Now that's if you're in a tower. If you're in a common area like this, then you hear a fire alarm. What you do is you look around. Are you in danger? You see fire, you see smoke? If you do, then you evacuate the building. And there's many ways to evacuate the building when you're in a common space. If you don't see anything, if you don't feel you're in danger, just hold in place and wait for a PA announcement, okay?
Why are you going down 4 floors? What's the significance of 4 floors?
The reason, well, when a fire alarm goes off, it goes off on the floor of the fire, a floor above and a floor below. And so it's just a common thing to send people down 4 floors just to be safe. But the idea, once you get to that 4th floor and you look out and there's smoke or whatnot, well, you're still in danger, so you go down further, okay? Just looking at the third bullet up there, we felt, and on the committee felt, that it might be a good thing to have another way of getting this information without having to find your directory. And so what we have actually put together is we printed out that 4th page, we put it in a nice plastic binder, and we put little stickies on the back. And so this is available to any of you who want one. And we thought maybe it'd be a good idea. You could put it on the back of your door, your apartment door. You could put it on your refrigerator. It's just or put it anywhere you feel that would be best for you to get this information really quickly. So these will be available for any of you after this meeting outside in Fireside Lounge, okay? Just briefly, these are some of the sources of safety information that we use at any one time. And I just want to point out the middle one there, the HH Connect. There's a lot more safety information on HH Connect under the helpful information and resources and additional documents. So take time, go out there on HH Connect, and you can see a lot more safety information. And finally, actually, safety equipment. We've made whistles available for everyone, and we still have those whistles. And we've also done something else. You may wonder why I am wearing this. This is, we have a number of vests and wristbands that are available to you on a loaner basis. And we have reflectors, and we have, if it works. And this is, actually the days are getting really short. It's dark in the morning, it's dark in the evening, and there's a lot of scooters on the sidewalks. And so this is, we really recommend, a light source for the sidewalks. But we have these available. We have just straight reflectors, and we have armbands, which also light up, and which also flash. I don't know how to turn these off. But we have some of these available. They will be in the Far Side Lounge afterward also. And then just finally, 30 seconds. Okay. I just want to make you aware of a program we're sponsoring coming up, and that will be on Wednesday, November 5th, 11 o'clock here in Anderson Hall. We have a representative from the Seattle Emergency Communication Hubs and a representative from the First Hill Emergency Hub. And they have a kind of a fun, unique program. Apparently there's over 60 neighborhood emergency communication hubs in Seattle, and I had no idea about that. The First Hill is located up at University and Minor, the little park up there. And so we'll have the two representatives come and talk about this really important service that they offer. And it's basically a communication service. They gather and share information. They match people's haves with people's wants. Some people may have a lot of water, others may not, and so it's a kind of a community thing that would all take place at the park after something like an earthquake. So there'll be more information on this coming out in the alert. Okay, my 30 seconds is up. Okay, all right, good. I think I give it to Marcia. Question?
I have a question. How do we know who the floor volunteers are? I've never seen any sign up.
Okay. Well, contact me, and I'll tell you. Yeah, and if you just holler out your floor right now. 18? Okay, 18, the 18th floor, Central Tower. If one of those emergency volunteers is here, they should contact you, Susan. Okay, but otherwise, I can get that information to you.
Hello, is this on? Okay. So good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you all. I would like to first thank the Residents Council for, I don't know how many years ago, starting the program. Starting the program of the Christmas party, and along with it, the idea of giving a gift to all of the staff. I think it is a joyful event at the Christmas party, and clearly the staff look forward to receiving their gift. So thank you very much for starting that. I don't know when. I'm happy and lucky, I think, to be able to chair that event. And today I want to briefly say two things. One is thank you to the 152 who have already contributed. That is great. We are doing very well. But I want to encourage those who have not participated to please do so before November 17th. That is the deadline for receiving the funds this year. And it occurred to me that many people ask and say, well, can you give me the average? Can you tell me how much I should give? How do I figure this out? And I can only talk from my own experience. I can tell you what I do or how I think about it. And that is that I think about all of the meals that are prepared for me, that I either eat in the dining room or pick up and take up to my unit. I think about the fact that I have my apartment cleaned. I think about the fact that I have my hair cut and my pedicure done. I think about the fact that I have equipment in the gym that is available for me to use, that I have a wonderful pool to swim in, that I have electricity. I have, most of the time, running elevators. I have heat, I have light, I have water, feel secure, I have a wonderful place to wander around and enjoy myself. I have the library. This is just such a wonderful place that is provided for us, really, or maintained for us by the staff that serve us. We have 249 employees. The money that we collect is divided between all of them based on the number of hours that they work. It has nothing to do with the rank or what the job that they do. They all get treated the same. And last year we were able to give $2,600 to full-time employees. That's a huge amount. I hope that we can meet that today, and I think that we can. You know, I'm shameless in saying, dig deep, be as generous as you possibly can, because these people really, really appreciate this, and we surely appreciate them. So thank you very much for the chance to talk. Is Carol Roach and Anna Rudd, who are in charge of this great Christmas party.
Go back one? Oh, we're not in there. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Carol Roach, and this is my co-conspirator, Anna Rudd. We're wearing these goofy Santa hats today to announce that we and at least 38 other resident volunteers are already planning one of our favorite events at Horizon House. It's that big winter holiday party that Marcia just referred to, the one we throw, that residents throw each year to honor our truly extraordinary staff. About 80 staff members come with spouses and children often. They greet Santa, enjoy various kinds of entertainment and food, and also pick up that special gift check that Marcia was just telling you about. The 2025 employee holiday party will be the first Sunday in December. That's December 7 in the afternoon. And here's more from Anna.
Thank you, Carol. It's such a pleasure to be a part of this joyful annual event. And I have two items I want to specifically share. First has to do with the most important feature is the cookies. And this feature of the holiday party is there's delicious cookies that are baked by the residents. And starting in early November, there will be calls for volunteer cookie bakers in the alert, and there'll be sign-up sheets in the mailroom. So please just keep your eyes out for that. And then the second thing is we are looking for a few more volunteers, helpers, for both Saturday, December 6th, which is the setting up day in Anderson Hall, and for Sunday, December 7th, the day we host activities during the party, and lots of activities. Carol and I will be in the Fireside Lounge after the resident council meeting with the sign-up sheets or to answer any questions or ideas that you have. Thank you so much. And next up is Jennifer Stucker for the Monday Market.
So greetings, everyone. I think I'll start with a reminder. The Monday Market was open yesterday, and it will be open next week. Its final appearance in the West Wing. I give this reminder for two reasons. Very few people came down to shop yesterday, and we are receiving little as far as donations. Rumor has it that people think we don't want donations during this transition period. We do. I'm sorry if I confuse the situation by suggesting cold weather clothing rather than summer attire is welcome at this point. Warm weather items have to go to storage, which we lack. The Monday Market is a community effort. All of you and your families are shoppers, our cadre of hardworking volunteers, and Horizon House staff who contribute in endless ways. We sense people's sadness at seeing the West Wing location come to an end, but it is also an excited expectation for something new and different. And it will be different. In acknowledgement of the end, Monday the 27th will be a very big sale. Household items will be half price at least. A rack of newly arrived coats will be featured at $6 each. And all other clothing will be $3 unless it's priced even lower. And if you really feel nostalgic, come back down at 2 p.m. for a sip of champagne. The coffee fund is going to good use. Looking to the future, we'd like to tell you when the market will reopen on the 3rd floor of assisted living, but much needs to be done to the various apartments before we can move in and set up. Brian Holtz deserves kudos for all of his efforts to facilitate the process. Rest assured, we will use every communication device available to get out the word when we are reopening. At this time, this is a fitting period for the recruit of new volunteers. Items will be located in various apartments. For example, furniture, appliances, office and travel will each have a room. Likewise, women's wear, men's wear, and accessories will be in separate rooms. We need more help. Please consider donating 2 hours of your week or more to the market. We work hard, but we also have fun and make new friends. Please see Elizabeth Hoover or me if you are willing to volunteer and we can discuss possibilities. As you know, the proceeds from the market go to support the various committees and programs sponsored by the Resident Council. We love our programs and want even more, but the revenue of the market is what it is. So continue to donate your treasures and continue to come to the market to buy those treasures from somebody else. On that point, the gross income for the market for the month of September was $8,815, a weekly average of $1,763. Employees purchased a total 1,667, and taxes on the merchandise was $826. We hope to see you on the 27th to shop and say farewell to the West Wing home of the Monday Market. Thank you. Karen Smith is next up.
I just need to comment on the safety committee. Listen to what they have to say. I was in, when we had the last big earthquake, I think in 2000, I was in a building that had been built in 1920. And as I sat there and watched the plaster cracking and falling off the wall, it's a little unnerving. And I didn't do the right thing. I went and stood in the doorway, which is what I'd been told in grade school. But in this room was a very heavy table. It would have been much better to get under the table. So listen to the safety committee. They have good words, and when you need them, you don't call them and say, you know what were we supposed to do when the fire starts or the earthquake starts? So that's my thought for the day. Anyway, following the Monday market, I just want to say that as far as the money we took in and the money we've put out for programs, we have a $12,000 loss at the end of September. So if income were at the 1993 and 1994 level, there would not be that deficit. So as we get our, and I will have to say that Horizon House is going to help us out with that loss of income. Nevertheless, in looking at the requests for more money for 2026, we're just having to make some cuts, and you'll be hearing what all those are. And the other thing that Horizon House is going to do during the construction is to financially assist in arranging tours and transportations away from Horizon House. So there's a lot of good things going on, amazing number of programs. I mean, there's sometimes 6 and 7 announcements for a day, one day, in the elevator. We are really very fortunate. So anyway, but we have to kind of be careful during this transition time. But you know, we have unique programming. I mean, it's amazing, and we have an incredible culture. I had a friend who moved into a retirement home, not here in Seattle, in another city. And she was telling me how wonderful this place she'd moved into was, so good. And she rattled off a whole bunch of things, which we all have. But she didn't say anything about any educational opportunities, any services to enhance our lifestyle. And we have it, and we are very fortunate. So I thank you all for all the way you make this happen, and be kind to the budget committee when you find out what your budget is for next year. So the next person is Nancy.
Hi, I am a member of Horizon House Fraud Squad. We are a pilot program of AARP volunteers here to educate residents on how to protect themselves against frauds and scams. We're developing some ways to communicate with you, so stay tuned for that. You're going to hear more about that in the future. Starting today, after every residents' council meeting, we're going to have a table outside in the Fireside Lounge. You can bring questions to us. You can also, in the future, bring your laptop or your cell phone to us. If you want to show us any email or text that you received and wondering if it's legitimate, we can show you how to figure that out. We have a sign in the mailroom. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's across from the copier. We'll post tips on there regularly and rotate the tips. We also have tips on HH Connect. They're under the additional documents section. And during Medicare open enrollment, which we're in right now, frauds and scams greatly increase. You may have already received some. And just a reminder, Medicare will never call or email you asking for your Medicare number or your bank account number. So if you get any email, text, phone call asking for your Medicare number or your bank account number related to open enrollment, it's a scam. So please contact the insurance commissioner. The number is not on the screen, but it's out. It's going to be out in the mailroom next week. Above all, remember the 3 R's of protection: recognize, resist, and report. Pause and take time to question any links that you receive in an email or text, and be wary of any call that you get asking you to provide some personal information. I always let all my calls go to voicemail unless they're coming from you. So thank you and be safe.
My name is Patty Flowers, and I'm the one that's done the 2 murals out beyond. Well, that will come up later. There was a reason for that. I am actually here representing Lorraine McConaughey. She couldn't be here today, and I said, I'll do it for you. That's fine. She is a historian. If you haven't met Lorraine, You don't know what you're missing. She believes in documenting history. She believes in helping us find our own history. And she believes in documenting it for the future. She, along with about 30 other residents and staff, are putting on a get-together. Judy's part of that, which she will talk about. There's going to be a get-together. It's going to be November the 10th, which is a Monday. It's going to be from 6 to 8. And it's going to be a time for us to share. It's a farewell to the West Wing. It's a time for us to share our memories of the West Wing. There are going to be videos there of things that have been in the past. There's going to be a chance to make memories for the future, which will be in our documents for Horizon House, so people in the future will know about it. There's going to be food, of course. Oliver's going to provide the food, and let me say the Residents Council has helped Lorraine out a lot with this too, getting it all together. So there will be food, there'll be a chance you'll be able to sit down and just talk with people. There'll be gifts, there's going to be a drawing with gifts. And there's going to be a chance to make memories that will be recorded for later that we will keep. There's also going to be a room with art in it. Marianne Counts is going to have a weaving that you can contribute to and do a little bit, and Horizon House will keep it. And also, we're going to have something that you can make, some little tidbits that you can make as a memory. And I'm going to have paints, and I'm going to have markers, and you're going to be able to write on the walls. That's why I was able to do the mural, because Lorraine had already gotten permission for us to write on the walls. And I thought, hey, this is a great canvas. Can I do something on it? And I was given permission to do it. It's been a great fun. It's been a lot of fun, and we hope that you will join with this. Now, I'm going to turn this over to Judy just for a minute.
Hi, so in anticipation of this November 10th event, we're offering an opportunity if you are a person who likes memory creation or just wants to process your feelings about this whole thing. There are group journal events going on. We had our first one today. It was amazing. And there are 2 more next week in the afternoon on Tuesday and Thursday. So look in the alert for the announcements. And anybody can come. Just bring yourself. There's paper and pens there. A chance for writing around some loosely structured prompts. And this is going to be part of the memory making, the history collection that is part of this, and ultimately the archives.
Haven't you ever wanted to write on the walls? Come November the 10th. And now next is Ducks in a Row. Are you up again? She up again? There you go.
We want to congratulate the 3 persons who received their Ducks in a Row sticker this past month. If you're here, please feel free to stand up. Bob Klein, Diane Loschke, and Karen Perret. "57 residents have earned their Ducks in a Row sticker already. And let's move on to Shan for the minutes.
Yeah, the minutes were circulated this morning, and I have not seen any corrections. Are there any other corrections to offer at this point? Nope, not hearing any corrections, and the minutes will stand.
And Carly? Oh, yeah, there we were.
There were no burning questions this month. Woohoo! But if you all of a sudden thought of something, I'm going to be in the Fireside Lounge after the meeting, and we'll address it at next month's meeting. Thank you.
But are there any questions now that you have? Yes.
I've heard nothing about Halloween.
Nothing about Halloween. Is anybody here who can tell us about the plans for Halloween? Risa?
Wellness is putting on a Halloween party. It will be on the 31st at 2 o'clock here. So there will be a costume parade. I imagine something will be coming out in the alert.
Thank you, Risa. Any other questions? Yes.
I have kudos for you or whoever put the print on the screen. I have never been able to see as well as I have today. Somebody went over the top. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. 60 point.
Ronnie?
Yes.
I have a question.
Where are you on?
I'll stand up. Who are the 5 board members who are leaving? We know who's coming on, but we don't know who's leaving.
Good question. Well, Shan is finishing up her term, the term of the person that she replaced. In addition, Jeff, where's Jeff? Jeff down there? Jeff is leaving, and Ned Lang, and Karen Smith, and one other, Sam Sperry, who couldn't be here today. They'll continue for another 2 months, and we'll certainly acknowledge their accomplishments at that time. Yes, Norm.
I'm wondering why you never mentioned leaving the building entirely as a safety measure. I left the building when we had that middle of the night thing, and recently, and I was the only one out there.
Well, you know, it really depends on where you are, and you do have a lot of options that way. You can certainly come down to the main floor and exit outside if you choose to do that. You don't necessarily have to do that, and that's why there were those 3 options that I talked about in terms of coming down the 4 steps, going to the stairwell and hanging there, or staying in your apartment. Those are all legitimate ways of protecting yourself should there be a fire. But if you decide to go outside for safety reasons, that's your choice. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think we all know that. Do not use the elevator during a fire. You wouldn't be able to anyway, probably, because they would be cut off immediately.
And of course, if you're down here already and there is a fire here, then we evacuate. Yes, another question, Ina?
Thank you. If we go outside and there's no electricity, can we get back in again? I mean, can we pry the doors open?
We think you'll be able to, but we don't really know. Risa, do you have anything that you know?
I don't know if the doors are on emergency power or not. That would be a Brian Holtz question.
Okay, very good burning question. You hear that, Carly? Okay.
We are at 4 o'clock, so apologize to people on HHTV if this gets cut off, but we can keep going and it'll be on YouTube.
Thank you for that reminder, Risa. Kathy?
Oh, it's even on. Good.
The
I guess since we were discussing that fire alarm that we had last week, I finally have put it all together listening to what Bill had to say. I'm on the 6th floor, and it was the alarm on 4-5 that went off, and they didn't know why.
So they blasted it into my floor, I guess 5, 4, and 3 or something like that. 4, 5, and 6. I'm getting there. Hang on. The announcement was so loud and so continuous that it made me very, very nervous. I had trouble staying in my apartment. I did move out of my bedroom into the living room, but especially considering that they didn't see any flame or anything, I think it was really unnecessary to shout. It went on for at least 20 minutes, if not more. And then when they were satisfied, I guess, they didn't even come in and say, oh, it's all over.
Kathy, if that was the one in the middle of the night,
Yes.
I think it needed to be loud to make sure everybody was woken up by it.
But I don't think they needed to repeat. I can see repeating it 10, maybe 20 times, but they repeated it more like 200 times.
Okay. Right. Okay, we'll do our best to pass that on to administration. Carol?
No, right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeff. Yes. Is that Jeff?
The locks on the outside are on battery power. They will be available for use in an emergency.
Okay, thank you for that. Did everybody hear it, that the locks are on battery power, so even if our central electricity goes out, they will still open. There was a question over there.
No, this is not a question,
Yes.
but to add to yours, we smelled smoke twice. We're on the 4th floor, and we smelled smoke, and nobody said anything. We kept wondering what to do because we could smell the smoke.
Are you saying there was no alarm on your floor?
We had the alarm,
Oh.
yes. But after that, then we could smell smoke, and then we didn't know what was going on.
I did check on that, and what happened was in the apartment, that one little apartment, they had something in their stove that was on, and so the only thing that came out of it, there was no fire, it was just smoke from that one place, and it just really went into the hallway from there, and very little.
I'm sorry, what are you saying, Anna? Okay, Bill, can I ask you to check with administration about the loudness and the other issues? I'm not sure that there's anything that should be done about the loudness, but perhaps there should be an announcement when the all clear is coming. I'm sorry, what is it? Okay, Bill is going to follow up with administration. Anything else? No. As usual, I will remind you to stay and chat if you like. All these representatives in the Fireside Lounge. And in the spirit of always leave them laughing, Auntie Gordon shared with us this joke. The furniture salesman said the couch would seat 5 people without any problems. Then I realized I don't know 5 people without any problems.
They are the top group that we've had for a long time. No, really. Yeah, so things are popping up. Well, was that?